Hey everybody, Ian Bremmer here with your latest edition of The Red Pen.
The Red Pen.
And today we're taking a look at a recent op-ed from Politico, penned by Russia Studies scholar Leon Aron of AEI. And the title asks a provocative question. Could Putin launch another invasion? Aron links the current political moment in Russia. Big protests, struggling economy, and Putin's own thirst for power and popularity with the factors that led to Russia's incursion into Ukraine and annexation of Crimea in 2014. He lays out the possibility that Russia could make military moves yet again, potentially against Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania, the three Baltic states that all happen to be members of both the European Union and NATO. Some context. This has been quite a week for U.S.-Russia relations. President Biden, in an interview with ABC News, agreed with an assertion that Vladimir Putin is a killer. I think he called him soulless, too. And Russia responded by recalling their ambassador to the United States. All this comes as the American intelligence community released a report this week claiming that Russia had launched yet another campaign in the 2020 election to undermine its legitimacy, in this case, undermine Biden. So a logical question would be, what is Putin's next move? Could he wage yet another military campaign? Now, as with many of the pieces that we look at, some of the points that Aron makes are right on the money. Yes, Putin did gain a lot of popularity after the operation in Crimea especially. And yes, NATO faces real issues. Turkey is barely an ally these days. Countries are slow rolling in terms of spending cash that they've promised. The French are talking about strategic autonomy. And yes, Putin always seems to have a surprise or two up his sleeve. But we are completely not convinced by the argument that an invasion of the Balts may be on the way. So let's take out the red pen. First, Aron writes that Putin's interventions, especially in Ukraine, worked, driving a Crimean consensus that victory in wars overshadows troubles at home. And sure, the Crimea intervention worked for Putin until it didn't. Putin has had to downplay military involvement in Ukraine of late to avoid a backlash from a Russian public that cares primarily about domestic issues, still, like pensions, for example. And let's not forget that getting involved in Libya, in Syria, even in Nagorno-Karabakh, did not yield any popularity bump of note for Putin. Next, Aron writes that we tend to repeat what worked. That is, Putin reached for the military lever before when he faced trouble, so he might do so again. Well, Putin's decision-making doesn't occur in a vacuum. Every past intervention was driven by national interest and foreign policy goals. Does Putin care about Putin? Of course. But Putin can't be sure that cooking up a foreign war would help matters at home. In fact, it might actually make them worse. Finally, Aron says that Putin may consider a fast and victorious poke at NATO's eastern flank, targeting the Baltic states and breaking NATO. An attack on the Balts may be fast or it may be victorious, but probably not both. And Putin knows this. Western leaders are conflicted about the alliance, but an assault on a full-fledged NATO state and EU member is exactly the kind of provocation that could awaken it. Putin understands this. He hardly wants to bring the alliance together as it's eroding. Low-cost efforts to steadily undermine legitimacy and grabbing targets of opportunity when available, that is much more Putin's speed. Putin certainly seems to want to be president for life and probably is going to end up running for a fifth term, though a lot can happen in 3 years. Military moves that diminish his popularity, lead to further widespread protest, never mind bring together his adversaries, that is a strong niet for now, tovarishi. So that is your red pen for today. We'll see you again soon. In the meantime, stay safe and avoid fewer people. We're getting there.